finished the book. I finished the book by Seicho Matsumoto, the Inspector Imanishi Investigates. This is a kind of a thick book, and probably published in 1970s. And I never read this book, but I saw the movie. Movie was made about 1975. I was still in Japan, and I went to see the theater in Tokyo, and I was very impressed by this movie making. And movie was like a long movie and very successful at that time. And because of that, because I saw the movie, so I know the spoilers of this particular book, I kind of didn't read this book. But now I got into the Seicho Matsumoto's, and I felt like I should read this, because image from the movie is so strong that the storyline was kind of strong there too, and very impressive. But the details I didn't get that much. So yeah, I decided to read this book. Why this particular book made a different title. The original title of this particular book is Sunano Utsuwa, which is like a bowl made of sand. Then I have a kind of an image from that movie that the little boy was playing at the beach, and he made this particular bowl with sand. And of course, the wave comes in, and this bowl made of sand dissolved by this waves or sea water. And that particular scene was, I think, used in the movie. So because I kind of remember that particular scene there. So Sunano Utsuwa, sand castle. At that time, I think they translated this particular fiction as sand castle. People go to beach and they make a castle with sand. And so, yeah, I thought Sand Castle is a good title. But this particular book, the Inspector Imanishi Investigates, are completely different. And this particular picture of the book is like a bonsai picture. And when I started to read this book, I realized, yeah, this is appropriate title. Appropriate English title, because this particular book is mainly this Inspector Imanishi's efforts to track down this particular crime, and very persistent regardless of financial difficulties and everything, and finally succeeds, something like that. And so that's appropriate. And this particular picture of bonsai is also kind of appropriate, because of the Imanishi's hobby was like a bonsai. He has a small apartment type of dwelling with his wife and son, and but he had this hobby of bonsai, and everywhere the bonsai was scattered in the house, and there's no space for anything else. So yeah, that's where this particular title and the particular cover came from. And I think this is a very good decision, I think so. Although I kind of miss the old Japanese titles and Japanese image of the sand castle, but I'm not complaining, I guess. So yeah, as I said, this particular investigator used, I think, the police force in Tokyo, and found this particular murder, gruesome murder at the railroad track, and one old man was killed there. And this particular old man, you know, you don't know who he is and everything, and so the Imanishi kind of tracked down all over Japan, northern part of Japan, and then like a south west part of town, west of Japan. He goes everywhere to investigate this crime, but it never become fruitful. But slowly he gets some bits and pieces, you know, along the line. I guess there's lots of interesting leads of this particular crime, and so as a reader you feel like, oh, wow, you know, is this a murderer, or is this the you know where how that crime committed, or you know, kind of a guess what it is. And but I think the target of the particular suspects kind of you know, evade, or more or less like you know, from one to the other, and so that's kind of exciting. And just because I already saw the movie and I saw the spoilers there, so you know, for me, like my enjoyment of reading books this time become more or less like how well he constructed this particular book. And it's very well constructed. There is no you know, boring sequence or anything like that. Very fast pace, and mostly like a psychology of this particular inspector, and trying to solve this particular problem of the unknown crime victims and the person who committed the crime, I guess. So along the line you see lots of side stories of background, and you know, especially Japanese societies during the World War II. I think that's very important. The history of the World War II is, I think, a major part of it, of this particular fiction, and because of that you kind of see like a very grand scale story, a very big type of storyline there, which is kind of nice, because that's probably, you know, this particular book is one of his Seicho Matsumoto's most popular books. And yeah, no wonder. I think this one is well written. Lots of criticism of the Japanese cultural, societal, you know, like discriminations and poverty, economic growth. And some of the also depict some of the probably 1970s, 1960s culture, where, you know, the society is changing to the old system, to the more modern system, and people are getting much freer to express their own thinking, and you know, making corporations or whatever much freer than before. So yeah, that particular part is very, very well written, and you can see why Seicho Matsumoto wrote this type of a story, and what is his emphasis on, you know, crime story writing. And so that's kind of interesting. And other books I read by Matsumoto has here and there like a very kind of a sloppy, plot, or kind of unsatisfactory, jarring plot and so forth, which I didn't necessarily like. But this one is very, very good. I would say as a the suspense mystery, the mystery part is very nice actually, and kind of a scientific and cultural, and most of all, though, it's about this hardship of life in Japan, I would say. And so that is very much interesting to see. If you are like a crime mystery fan, I definitely recommend this book, and I wish you could see that movie as well. Movies, I felt more emotional, probably because of the visual effects that are made by this particular director, Yoshitaro Nomura. He was very, very good director at the time. I think he made another Seicho Matsumoto's film called like Stakeout or something like that, Harikomi, and that is also another good movie. But yeah, I think his ability to make this particular film was more like an emotional oriented, enhanced by the music and visual effects, but the book is more steady depictions of this history and war, poverty, discrimination, so forth. And that's I thought a little bit different from the movie's approach, but yeah, of course the movie is based on the book, so the book is more you can go back to. And but regardless, I think thrilling read, and Who's Done It or something like that is very, very well done, I would say. Very, very cleverly written, and yeah, so I completely recommend that you take this copy and read it. Yep.